Hey, what's going on, kids? So one of the things that a lot of my students tell me is that they have troubles with pronoun questions because they've never really learned what pronouns are and how to write pronouns correctly or grammatically in school. So it's totally understandable. And so a lot of students kind of answer pronoun questions based off of feeling, just kind of what they think makes sense. But there's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of these students are left kind of unsure whether or not they're getting these questions correct. Okay, so in this video, I'll share with you guys the two steps that I teach all of my students to help them gain a lot of clarity and certainty with pronoun questions. So let's go ahead and jump right in, you guys. So remember, these practice questions are the practice questions from College Board's free digital SAT exams. So this is going to be College Board's practice test number 1, module 1, question number 19, right? And I've gone extra steps further by kind of labeling what question type or concept this question is testing you on and kind of categorizing, right, which category these questions kind of fall under. You guys can download these practice tests for free on College Board's website and kind of solve these questions before you watch these videos. These videos isn't going to be to explain these questions exactly in the way College Board does. It's not what I'm trying to do here. You know, I am totally giving them credit for these questions that they created because these are their questions. But what I'm doing is I'm just giving my own spin. I'm giving my own sort of explanations about how I solve these questions, okay? So these aren't taking any explanations from College Board at all, but we're just using the questions that College Board kind of provides to everyone, right? These released practice tests and the released questions, and I'm just kind of providing my own spin or my own take on it, okay? So you guys can download these exams on the College Board website, right? Let's go ahead and jump into this question. So the first thing that you want to do when you're solving grammar questions, you guys, is just take a look at the answer choices, right? Just take a high-level view of the answer choices and tell me what you notice. What you're trying to do here, your first step before you read the passage, is you're trying to figure out what question type or concept the SAT is testing you on. It's not difficult to do, and once you kind of take a few practice exams, you'll start to get familiar with it. But that's going to be step number 1 for all of you guys, especially if you're brand new to the SAT, is you want to get friendly with the test, right? Familiarize yourself with the question types and the concepts that the SAT tests you on. One of the fastest ways to do this is by looking at the answer choices, okay? So if we take a look at the answer choices, we know we're being tested on pronouns, right? Because we have pronoun answer choices like they, right? It, you, and one. These are all certain types of pronouns, okay? So we know we're being tested on pronouns. Now, why is that important? Because, guys, if we know what we're being tested on, right, we can read the passage with looking for a specific, we can read the passage with a specific focus in mind. Right? So if we know that we're being tested on pronouns, we can actually read the passage kind of considering pronouns, right? We can also do this if we know that the question is testing us on verbs, if it's testing us on punctuation, so on and so forth. Okay, so understanding or knowing what question type or concept the SAT is testing you on before you read the passage is going to give you a lot more control, and it's going to make your reading a lot more focused and effective. Okay, so that's first and foremost. Now, secondly is this. When you guys are solving pronoun questions, the thing that you want to think about is you want to think about clarity. Okay, so which pronoun is clear? So clarity is all about, right, having clear pronouns. So what a pronoun is, by definition, a pronoun is nothing more than a general word that replaces a specific word, right? So we know that pronouns are kind of general words, right? Like they. Well, who's they referring to, right? So these pronouns are general words that replace specific words. These specific words that pronouns replace are nouns, but more specifically, they're called antecedents. Okay, so the antecedent is the noun that the pronoun replaces. So you have to make sure grammatically that the pronoun that you choose make sure that it has a very clear antecedent. In other words, the antecedent or the noun that the pronoun is replacing must be given or stated in the passage. Okay? If it's not, then we say that this answer choice or this pronoun is unclear, that it's ambiguous, and that's not good. Okay, it's a grammatical error. You want to make sure that pronouns are clear. So now naturally the next logical question is, well, students asking, well, Jen teacher, how do you do this, right? So how you do this is by reading and thinking logically. right? You read the passage and kind of think about the context and really ask yourself, right? Hey, what is this pronoun referring to? Or who is this pronoun referring to? It's a practice that everybody can do. I've done this with thousands of students, and every single student is able to do this. It's just that you have to know, you have to train yourself how to do it. Okay, so we'll take a look at this passage here. We'll read it. It says, public awareness campaigns about the need, and all you're doing here, you guys, when you're reading, is you're just reading to kind of understand just generally what the passage is talking about. That's it. You're just kind of reading to understand what the heck the author or the writer is saying. You don't have to understand it super perfectly. Just kind of get the gist or general sense of what the author is talking about, though. Okay, don't put too much pressure on yourself when you're reading. Just read to kind of understand, right? The gist of what's being mentioned. So it says public awareness campaigns about the need to reduce single-use plastics can be successful, says researcher Kim Borg of Monash University in Australia, when these campaigns give consumers a choice. For example, Japan achieved a 40% reduction in plastic bag use after cashiers were instructed to ask customers whether they wanted a bag. So another tip here, you guys, is when you're reading the passage the first time through, plug in answer choice A in the underlined blank. Okay, even if it's wrong, just plug it in. You know, I've seen a lot of students, right? I've seen a lot of students just kind of read it like a blank. They'll read it like to ask customers whether blank wanted a bag, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Don't do that, right? Actually plug in answer choice A and then just read the sentence to the end. Okay, now what you're trying to figure out, right, is you're trying to figure out the answer to this question, right? Logically, who wanted a bag, right? Who wanted a bag, right? So now this is where, if you know you're being tested on pronouns, what you can do is you can read the passage again, you can read the sentence again, right? And kind of ask or think logically, right? Who wanted the bag? Try to figure out the logical answer to that question based off of your understanding of the context. So if I ask you this question, it says, well, hey, Japan achieved a 40% reduction in plastic bag use after cashiers were instructed to ask customers whether they wanted a bag. So whether who wanted a bag. So who is this referring to? All of you guys are going to say customers, right? So that's going to be the noun. So customers is the noun, right? That is clearly stated in the passage. Okay. So it's the customers that wanted a bag. Now now that you know the logical answer is customers, that's great. The next step is ask yourself, is customers a singular or a plural noun? Right? So this customers refers to just one, or is it a singular noun, or is it a plural noun? So singular just means it refers to one, and plural means it refers to more than one. Right? So customers, right, with the S at the end of the noun is plural. It's referring to many, right, or several. So we know because it refers to plural, so then we know the correct answer should be what? Whether who wanted a bag, whether they wanted a bag, right? So we know that A is going to be the correct answer here. Right? We know it isn't going to make any sense, right? It is singular, one is singular, and you is singular, right? So all of these are not clear pronouns because there is no noun that these pronouns can replace. However, when we have the pronoun they, which is a plural pronoun, they is a plural pronoun, we know that they has a clear noun that it can refer to. And that clear noun is customers. How did we figure that out? We read the passage and we thought about, right, logically, the answer to that question. Who wanted a bag? Oh, the customers did, right? That is my understanding of this passage, or this sentence is going to tell me, right, what noun that pronoun should be replacing. Simple enough, right? You guys can do this for all pronoun questions. It's all about just understanding the context of the passage and then asking yourself that question, right? In this case, right, asking yourself, right, who wanted a bag? You're just basically trying to ask yourself, right, what is this noun that the pronoun is referring to, right? What noun is this pronoun referring to? You can do that within the context of the passage and think about the logical answer to that question. If you need to reread the sentence again, and do so, but you want to try to understand the context, okay? If you just get a little bit of practice with it, every single person can do this, and this will make your life so much easier, right, when you're solving pronoun questions, all right? So I'll see you guys in that next video when we jump into another grammar concept. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe to this video. please share this video with somebody who needs it, right? Somebody you know that's really struggling with the SAT, especially the reading and the writing sections, the English portions of this test. I'm really trying to help, millions of people really get quality SAT test prep instruction, because I know how meaningful this test is for your college futures, right? For your futures. And so please help me spread the good word. I'm really trying to give, top quality test prep instructions at a very affordable cost. So that would really help me out tremendously. Also, make sure to comment in the comment box below. Tell me, please, one thing that you learned that was helpful for you in this lesson. And also tell me one thing that you want to learn. Okay? Until next time, you guys, make sure to always stay curious and never stop learning. You guys got this. Take care.